All right, so it's March 31st, day 32 of Operation Epic Fury, and I need to talk about what just happened overnight because this is one of the biggest developments of this entire war. President Trump posted footage on Truth Social showing an ammunition depot in Isfahan getting hit. And what you see in that video is not just an explosion. What you see is secondary explosions. That means the munitions stored inside those bunkers, the same ballistic missiles and drone stockpiles that have been feeding Iran's attacks on Gulf shipping, reportedly started cooking off. According to Wikipedia's Iran war entry, the U.S. used bombers to target an ammunition depot and airbase in Isfahan, causing what's described as vast explosions. This is not a surgical strike on a single building. This looks like an entire weapons hub being taken off the board. And then at the Pentagon briefing this morning, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs General Dan Caine walked up to the podium and said something that changes the entire picture of this war. He said, "Given the increase in air superiority, we've successfully started to conduct the first overland B-52 missions, which allow us to continue to get on top of the enemy." According to Middle East Monitor, Stars and Stripes, and Times of Israel, all confirmed the same briefing. The B-52 Stratofortress is now flying over Iranian territory for the first time since Operation Epic Fury began 32 days ago. Let me explain why that one sentence from General Caine is actually massive and what it means for where this war goes from here. So here's the thing you need to understand. The B-52 Stratofortress is not a stealth aircraft. It does not have the low radar cross-section of the B-2 Spirit that flew the first strikes on Iran's nuclear sites. It does not have the supersonic speed of the B-1B Lancer that has been hammering targets from standoff range. The B-52 is a 70-year-old aircraft that is big, loud, and flies at subsonic speed. According to Wyon's defense analysis, the B-52H has a top speed of approximately 650 miles per hour, Mach 0.88, and has been flying combat missions since it first entered service. The reason it has not been flying directly over Iran until now is simple. If Iran still had functional surface-to-air missile systems, those systems could reportedly engage a B-52 that is flying at normal altitude over the country. You do not send a non-stealth bomber into an area where the enemy still has working air defenses. You send it when you own the skies. General Caine's exact words at the briefing were specifically, "given the increase in air superiority." According to NTD's reporting, Caine noted the B-52 lacks the stealth and speed of the other bombers in the U.S. arsenal, and that is precisely what makes this announcement significant. The U.S. Air Force is essentially saying Iran's air defenses have been degraded to the point where a large, slow, non-stealth strategic bomber can operate safely over Iranian territory. That is a statement about what Iran does and does not have left. When General Caine talks about the B-52 overland mission, he is talking about a platform that can reportedly carry up to approximately 70,000 pounds of ordnance on a single sortie. According to Army Recognition's analysis of the B-52's weapons loadout, that includes Joint Direct Attack munitions, 2,000-pound GPS-guided bombs, 1,000-pound precision weapons, GBU-31 penetrators against reinforced structures, the AGM-158J ASSM standoff missile with a range exceeding 900 kilometers, and the extended-range JASSM-ER. A single B-52 sortie can reportedly deliver the equivalent strike effect of multiple tactical aircraft sorties. What reportedly hit Isfahan overnight was exactly this. According to Wikipedia's Iran war entry, the strikes targeted an ammunition depot and airbase in Isfahan, causing vast explosions. The key word in that sentence is vast. In strike assessment terms, vast secondary explosions mean the stored munitions inside the facility started detonating, which means the weapons that were reportedly going to be used in future attacks on shipping, Gulf partners, and U.S. bases are reportedly not there anymore, and that Isfahan strike is not happening in isolation. At the same March 31st briefing, Defense Secretary Hegseth confirmed that the last 24 hours saw the lowest number of enemy missiles and drones fired by Iran since the war began. According to Red State's reporting of the briefing, just last night we had 200 dynamic strikes alone. General Caine confirmed that U.S. forces have now struck more than 11,000 targets over 30 days of the campaign. According to Middle East Monitor, Caine also confirmed that more than 150 ships in Iran's navy have been addressed. Let me give you the Day 32 picture as of today's briefing because the numbers are significant. According to Admiral Brad Cooper's previously confirmed statements, Iran's ballistic missile launch rate fell 90% from day one of the war. Defense analysts have reported the drop is closer to 92%. Drone launch rates are down 83% per Cooper's earlier statements, with some analysts putting that figure at 92% as well. Both of those numbers are already before today's Isfahan strike, which reportedly took out a significant portion of the remaining munitions stockpile. The naval picture. According to General Caine at today's March 31st briefing per Middle East Monitor, more than 150 Iranian naval vessels have been addressed since February 28th. That is up from the 120-plus figure confirmed at the March 19th briefing. The Iranian Navy that IRGC commanders were counting on to enforce the Strait of Hormuz blockade through fast attack boats, mine layers, and coastal harassment has reportedly been substantially degraded. And then there is the diplomatic development that Hegseth confirmed at today's briefing. According to Stars and Stripes, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said the nation's negotiations to end the war with Iran are real and gaining strength. Hegseth reportedly confirmed having met with Special Envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, Vice President Vance, and Secretary of State Rubio, and described the talks as ongoing, active, and gaining strength. According to Wikipedia's Iran war entry, more than 20 Western-linked oil tankers have reportedly been allowed through the Strait. The military pressure and the diplomatic track are apparently moving at the same time. On the force posture side, and this happened just a few days ago, according to CENTCOM's official statement and Stars and Stripes, the USS AAA Amphibious Ready Group in the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit officially arrived in the CENTCOM area of responsibility on March 28th. According to Stars and Stripes, that is the Okinawa-based 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit and U.S. sailors arriving aboard the USS Tripoli. What does Tripoli add? According to the coverage of that deployment, this is an America-class amphibious assault ship that can operate F-35B Lightning IIs from a flat deck, functioning as what analysts call a lightning carrier. It brings approximately 2,200 to 2,500 Marines with a full aviation combat element. This gives CENTCOM options it did not have before. Naval aviation that does not depend on the main carrier strike groups, amphibious assault capability, and a credible force posture for potential operations against coastal targets or island objectives. According to House of Saud's reporting, CENTCOM specifically requested Tripoli to have more options for military operations against Iran. Now, Iran is still fighting back. That has to be said. According to Fox News' March 31st live updates, an Iranian drone attack struck a Kuwaiti oil tanker in the Persian Gulf, and there was a significant fire, though reports indicate the ship was not lost. According to the same updates, the UK Maritime Trade Operations confirmed a tanker was struck by an unknown projectile off the coast of Qatar. But Iran still has the ability to reach out and cause problems. But here is the context. These are drones hitting tankers. A month ago, Iran was launching hundreds of ballistic missiles per day. Today, according to Hegseth, this is the lowest launch rate of the entire war. The trajectory is clear even if the threat is not gone. One thing that came through loudly today was President Trump's frustration with European allies who are benefiting from the result of this campaign without contributing to it. According to Fox News' March 31st updates, Trump posted on Truth Social about France refusing to allow U.S. military planes carrying supplies to Israel to fly over French territory, saying, France has been very unhelpful. He followed that with a direct message to countries that rely on Hormuz oil. Buy from the US. We have plenty. Build up some delayed courage. Go to the Strait and just take it. You'll have to start learning how to fight for yourself. Defense Secretary Hegseth reinforced that message at the briefing. According to Stars and Stripes, Hegseth said, "There are countries around the world who ought to be prepared to step up on this critical waterway as well. It's not just the United States Navy. Last time I checked, there was supposed to be a big, bad Royal Navy that could be prepared to do things like that." He also pointedly declined to reaffirm the U.S. commitment to NATO collective defense. On the Hormuz question specifically, Hegseth also made an important clarification today that has been underreported. According to Fox News' live updates of the briefing, the War Secretary Pete Hegseth did not say reopening the Strait of Hormuz is a core objective for the U.S. in Operation Epic Fury. Hegseth reiterated that the three core goals are: address Iran's nuclear capabilities, degrade its ballistic missile manufacturing, and address its navy. The Hormuz reopening is described as a consequence of achieving those goals, not the primary mission itself. Let me bring it back to where we started. The B-52 flying overland over Iran for the first time in this conflict. Because this one data point tells you a lot about the current state of Iran's military capability. The B-52 Stratofortress is not sent into airspace where an adversary has functioning integrated air defense. That is a basic operational reality. The fact that General Caine confirmed overland B-52 missions on March 31st, citing increase in air superiority, means that whatever Iran had left of its surface-to-air missile network in that area has been assessed as sufficiently degraded that a large, slow, non-stealth bomber can reportedly operate overhead. Hegseth also said something today that deserves attention. According to Red State's reporting of the briefing, Hegseth confirmed that command bunkers are being struck over and over and that the enemy is going underground. He also reportedly referenced mass desertions in the IRGC. That lines up with what you would expect to see from a force that has reportedly lost its air force, most of its navy, most of its ballistic missile stockpile, and is now watching B-52s fly over its territory. At some point, the rational calculation for many IRGC members changes. According to Stars and Stripes, negotiations are described as real and gaining strength. According to Wikipedia's Iran war entry, Trump said the war will not last much longer. But also according to Stars and Stripes, Trump has not yet ruled out putting boots on the ground in Iran, and Hegseth specifically declined to say what the U.S. would or would not do, noting, "You can't fight and win a war if you tell your adversary what you are willing to do." So the military pressure is continuing, the negotiations are reportedly ongoing, and the B-52 is reportedly doing what it was built to do. Day 32. B-52 Stratofortress, a 70-year-old aircraft that has been flying since 1955, reportedly just flew its first overland missions over Iran in this conflict. Not because someone in Washington decided to make a symbolic gesture, but because according to the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, the air defenses that would have been required to threaten it have reportedly been sufficiently addressed. Iran fired its lowest number of missiles and drones since the war started in the last 24 hours. Isfahan just had what looks like a massive secondary explosion event at an ammunition depot. Negotiations are reportedly real and gaining strength. USS Tripoli is in the theater with 2,500 Marines, and the B-52 is now reportedly operating over Iran without standoff weapons, dropping directly. What happens in the next week or two is going to be critical, whether this is the final pressure phase before a deal, or the beginning of something larger. That depends on how the regime in Tehran reads what just happened over Isfahan. But the signal from the B-52 flying overland is about as clear as it gets. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll see you on the next one. This video is based on publicly available reports, official statements, and defense analysis. Some details may be subject to change as the situation continues to develop.